Hi everyone, I'm Jamie and I hope you're having a fierce day. I forgot to bring my, I have the hiccups. I forgot to bring my webcam, and my makeup, so this is me all natural, with the green screen in the background so you don't see all my, my nasty life. But anyway, today I'm doing something very exciting with Perry Pictures. We're going to be doing a collaboration. I'm gonna continue the rest of this video after I take care of my hiccups. So I am doing a collaboration with Perry Pictures, an incredibly talented YouTuber. If you haven't seen her yet, please check her out because she's so awesome and so sweet. Basically, we each have to pick a mythical creature. So I sent her a phoenix and she picked a gorgon, so like a snake head person. So yeah, I'm mixing those two together. I'm very excited. I'm trying something a little bit different this time. To build my pose, first I just drew a really dynamic shape, and then I sort of based her body around it. I'm just gonna call her Medusa for now. Maybe I'll give her a name later, but I did want her to be on fire with wings and snakes in the hair. I think that really would capture all of the elements that I wanted to include from a Phoenix Sandy Gorgon. And I did want to make her reasonably beautiful, and I thought it would be really neat to have a man's head turned to stone. I gave her elf ears too, just to sort of give her more of a mythical vibe. I don't know. And I thought it'd be neat to kind of mix feathers and snakes together. I had to get a snake reference too, because I'm not that well versed with snakes. But to give this sort of reptilian, avian mixture, I thought it'd be really neat. For the hands, for both of them, I ended up having to model them after my own hand. I was holding up my hand right next to my face and drawing it. You're never beyond looking at references, and they're always super helpful. So I ended up drawing several different colors of layers just so that it wouldn't get too muddled and I would know what each line was referring to. So I think I ended up with 3 or 4 different colors, but in the end they're all going to be the same. Honestly, I'm not that comfortable drawing wings, so I kind of just made them look like fingers because I'm pretty sure these mythical creatures come from Greco-Roman mythology, something like that. I gave her a very Roman/Greek. I know they're completely different, but I tried to give a happy medium of an outfit. So very loose draped fabric, as well as some metallic touches. I think it would contrast very nicely. I wanted to give her a lot of jewelry as well. I feel like this creature, since she is lonely and also somewhat immortal because phoenixes never truly die, I feel like she has a lot of time on her hands and she probably has very refined taste. So I did give her a lot of golden rings. She would probably be revered as a goddess. I also decided to really double down on making this look like Greek mythology. I made the head sort of modeled after the statue of David, which you can probably tell. It has just a very Greek makeup. For some reason, I decided to give her a trident as well. I also gave her very long nails, kind of to accentuate the creepiness of this. Also, when you think of people who are living in caves and sort of alone, they usually have long nails. I don't know. I also wanted to make these threads. I kind of went overboard with the golden thread, sort of like Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know. I had a lot of fun making these braids, but I know it might be a pain to color. I don't know. I didn't do much shading either because this is sort of an outline, and I really wanted Perry's artistic talent to shine, and I wanted her to be able to decide where the shadows go and what light source, direction the light source was coming from. These snakes actually ended up really cute. I really do love snakes. I think they're adorable. They're like little noodles. And so it was a little bit difficult to make them look scary. In the end, I don't really know if I succeeded or not. I mean, it definitely would look scary to somebody who's scared of snakes. I also wanted them to sort of all be collecting around this face in interest, because I think that her snakes would really reflect her own mentality, and anything that she's focusing on, her snakes also do. So I thought it'd be really cool to have them all sort of circling around this stone head. Again, for the wings, I am not that comfortable drawing feathers and that sort of stuff, so I sort of just made them look like fingers. I was gonna go back and do a little bit more to this, but I decided, enough's enough. Also, this is very exciting because usually I don't go in and draw detailed stuff that often, just because it's hard for me to color. I am not that good at coloring, so whenever I draw, I try to make it pretty simple so that it's easy for me to color. But since Perry Pictures is coloring this, I could really go crazy, and I had so much fun with this. I also put fire in the end. I ended up making 2 different versions, one with fire, one without, just so that she could choose and decide which one she wanted. I also gave Medusa a ton of necklaces and shiny things, just bangles, just to accentuate her wealth and really how long she's been alive. Also give her sort of a sense of refinement and timelessness, I guess. Her status. She's hidden from the world, but she has a basis in being beautiful and wealthy. So here's the final product. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's really giving me World of Warcraft vibes. So now we're going to get to see Perry Pictures drawing. I'm very excited to color it. It'll be like a coloring book, which is kind of cool. I will say that I'm not as confident with my coloring skills as I am with my drawing skills, but we'll see. I'll try to do my best. It's so pretty. I love all the snakes. They have so much personality. And I love the pose. It's so dynamic. Oh, this is gonna be so fun. Look at how good the wings are. So first, I am really just coloring this in roughly. I do want to use her base sketch, but I also wanted to add a little bit of my own line work and stuff like that. Again, I will say this as many times as necessary. I am really not that great at coloring. But Perry did such a good job on these wings, and so I have a bunch of different reference photos on fiery snakes and stuff like that. I thought it'd be really cool to have a lot of motion, and fire is just so pretty, so I gave them glowing eyes and glowing teeth and glowing tongues. Some of them I gave sort of a molten lava look, like they were made of stone or something. I also had some references of wings. I had some trouble deciding where the light source was coming from in terms of fire. Is it coming from inside or outside the body? And I think for the snakes, I kind of didn't really have any direction. I just drew fire wherever I thought it was fun. I ended up spending so much time on the snakes, and the rest of the body didn't really get the same attention because I had so much fun with the snakes. There were just so many, and they're all coiled together. And I sort of mindlessly colored this for way too long. But I really like how they turned out. I think they're definitely the life of this piece. So I have this color palette. I wanted to give her sort of grayish skin, a lot like coals from a fire. She's a phoenix being raised from the fire. Plus also Medusa tends to turn people to stone when she looks at them, right? So I thought maybe like she could sort of reflect the stone herself, as well as I think she's often depicted as living in caves where not a lot of sunlight happens. So she's probably very gray and dull. Maybe her skin might be even translucent a bit. And I also picked this darker coal color because I figured it would be a nice contrast to the bright red and it wouldn't distract too much, as opposed to if I picked like a bright color to go along with it, especially because I wanted to focus more on the lighting. For the face, I had some trouble because everything about her is fire. I didn't really know where the light source would be coming from. So I sort of wanted this very, very dramatic lighting palette. I had this lime green, sort of almost the opposite of this dark red color, and I just made it seem like there was some green glowing object, like she has something special she's holding on to. Perry actually originally had flames in the eyes, which I thought was super cool, so I kept that concept. It was a little bit too detailed for how big my brush size was, so I ended up just making it glow like fire, the same color as the snakes and the wings. Also, I don't know if I said this yet, but if anybody's interested, all that I really did was I had her artwork multiplied over the base color, and then I started adding opaque layers of my own right on top. I tried a bunch of different things in the eyes, but I eventually settled on this. I think having the pupils glow is a very creepy, really cool effect. I added this sort of gradient to the wings, sort of to just help me a little bit with figuring out what colors should be where. Luckily, Perry's outline was so helpful. These wings would have been so difficult for me. Feathers are such a difficult task. All I'm doing is just really blending all of the colors together to make it look a little less blocky. But I thought that giving it a black background would be also very cool because then you could really see the flames. So I started adding highlights going in, touching up the feathers, making them look a little bit more feathery, having the little splits between each of the hairs on the feathers, I guess. And I kind of wanted it to seem fluffy, and since they're fire, I kind of wanted it to seem like they were coming out of her body as like molten veins. Sort of like veins of lava. I thought that was really cool, so I went ahead and did that. I also added it to her eyes to sort of bring the whole thing together. Her body is really like made of this sort of molten material, and I added some scales too. I thought it would be a really fun touch just to double down on that amphibianness. And then I remembered that one of my mini brushes, I only really use 2 brushes, but I found this fire brush and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to use this. So I sort of started playing around with it, doing lots of different things. In the end, I don't know if it matches the style, but I just had to use it because I'm never gonna get an opportunity like this again. And then around the end, I just started playing around with colors. I think eventually all I did was add a little touch of green to the right side of the image, but there we go. Hopefully she likes it as well. I'm very excited to see her reaction. Hey guys, and we're back today. Perry Pictures just sent me back the colored version of my line art, and I sent her my colored version of her line art, so we're gonna take a look, and I'm really excited to see how it turned out. So let's get right to it. She sent me 2 versions because she's freaking amazing. One with fire, one without. So let's look at the version without fire first. That's so cool! Ooh! Look at the scales in the background. It's so freaking cool. This is so awesome. Okay, and let's look at the fire version. This one's even cooler. It's so shimmery and gold. This is such a daunting task. I wouldn't have known where to start because my drawing was so freaking meticulously detailed, but she nailed this. This is so amazing. The textures are so crazy. This is so cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you Perry Pictures for doing this with me. It was so cool. This was so awesome. I really like doing collabs. This is my first one, and I think it's probably going to be the first of many. So I will leave her version of this project linked in the description below, and maybe as a pinned comment as well. So thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye! Thank you all for watching.